Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have it douse, not what I'm about, have your f***ing cloud, it be raining now. I keep making sound, go another round, I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
Well, all right, everybody, man. Welcome to another edition of Unscripted. I think we're at episode 339 and counting. Today, I got special guest, the Unicorn. I have not seen this man in a hot minute. He comes out of the crevices in the middle of the night, pokes me in the side, and says, "Yo, Jay, can I come on the show?" And I said, "Son, I have been waiting for this day for a long time." Yes. Absolutely, you can come on the show. Pride, say what's up to the people.
I just want to let the record show I popped up after a Celtics loss. I just want the record to show
That's true.
Lost, and I decided to come on. I just want the record to show. So, for everyone who's saying that every time the Celtics lose, you can't find me. No one's been able to find me. I've been like the Celtics, full of dramatic highs, depressing lows. I'm trying to pull myself through this game we call life.
Aren't we all? As you know, I took a very hard, dramatic hit a couple of nights ago. You may have noticed, Pride. And Logan, I'm going to introduce you in just one second. But Pride, you may have noticed that the Rockets slipped down to number 4 in the pick. Yeah, so, you know. It's like, when a man is down, you just kick him at his lowest, and it's okay. It is what it is. But you know what? At the end of the day, I got Udaka, so I'm not even tripping. Logan, babyface, I'm glad that you got your dinner fixed. I'm glad that the kids are in bed. How you doing?
First off,
kids.
That's not on me.
Whoa, Skip. Whoa, what I miss?
Pride's been gone for so long. No.
I'm saying, what in the world?
Hey, I had to say that just to trip Pride up to say, you got kids?
You got me.
You're talking about my dog. He's just chilling. But no, got my dinner ready, Jay. Got ready for a good show. And nice to see we got Pride back on after a long sabbatical.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Nobody more than this guy, let me tell you, because I have truly missed, just everything that Pride brings to life. Honestly, I've been trying to live a little bit through Frankie, but there is no but one and only Pride. And
there's only one and only Joe Mazzulla.
Oh, snap. Hold on. I'm sorry. Totally not mean to do that. That was by accident. That was
Pride. You said there's no Pride. There's only one Joe Mazzulla who the man is trying to save his timeouts. Fam, you reload. Like, bro, use all your timeouts game 1, brother. Use them timeouts, bro. I promise you. Like, game 2, you'll be fine. You get new timeouts, bro. Use them, man. My man using them like, oh yeah, we gotta pass out like bread. We gotta ration this stuff. Call the timeout. Oh my God, I'm sorry, I had to get that.
Don't worry, Pride, because we got a whole lot to break down with that series. But I'm glad that you segued into the first topic coming up. By the way, you can catch us on Unscripted Guys on on Twitter. All one word, Unscripted Guys on Twitter, and TikTok and YouTube, Unscripted Sports, all one word, and Facebook at our Unscripted page. And let's go ahead and let's just get it right into the waters and talk some NBA playoffs. I'm going to start because tonight is the Lakers tipping off with the Nuggets. We're going to start that series first, and then we'll wrap it up with the Celtics and Miami Heat. But Lakers, holy crap, Joker. Pride, I know me and Logan have kind of talked about it. Me and Frankie, Gonzo, everybody's talked about it. I really kind of got your thoughts on, number one, I'm just going to ask you straight up, man. Number one, who is the real MVP? We know the political side of it. But who's the number one? I'm asking you who the real MVP is, and number two, what the hell was that performance by Joker?
I mean, look, a couple I think it was like last week. I hit up Mike Hughes and I was like, bro, I feel like doing a show. On that show, I said, if you are a basketball player and you play the center position, you are at best fighting to be the second best center in the league. Nobody is touching Jokic right now. It's to the point that you know how back in the day when you Google Joker, it was Joker the clown from Batman. You Google Joker and it's just this unathletic guy from where's he? Serbia? He's from somewhere over there. Yes. Like that's who pops up now. 100%. He is the MVP. And listen, I've been telling this. Last year, people were coming real hard on Jokic for his lack of postseason success. And I've been telling y'all, it's not that he's not lack of success. Jokic is balling. He's doing his part. It was at the time he didn't have anyone around him because Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray were out.
Right.
And everyone kept saying, can he do this with those guys there? Look at this. Look at this. The people who have been like me who've been screaming for Jokic for like past 2 years now. He's doing it. And he's doing it with his two best players back. And he's doing it. And now it's to the point where before, last year, Jokic was looking drained and exhausted towards the end of the third quarter because they were relying so heavily on him. Now, Jokic can do what all other superstars do. I want a couple breaks on the floor. I need a couple minutes on the floor. Let me go to the corner. Let me chill out. I got Jamal Murray who can go get his own bucket. I got Michael Porter Jr. who also can get his own bucket. So now we're seeing Jokic just chilling in the corner, minding his business, and he's still getting double teamed. Still getting double teamed in the corner. This man is saying, the play is not for me. This is for him. This is for Murray. He's screaming at the top of his lungs. At the top of his lungs. Jamal Murray got the ball at the top of the key. They still doubling Jokic. And that just opens the floor for everybody else. 110%. Jokic is the MVP. I don't care what anybody says. We can fight about it. Jokic is the MVP.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, man, if you play basketball and you're the center position, I'm talking about DeAndre Ayton's of the world, who I still got faith in. I'm scared because I'm either going to look like a legend or this is going to be my Ryan Tannehill take all over again. So next year, DeAndre Ayton, don't sell me out, boy. But the Karl Anthony Towns of the world, when he chooses to play the five, the Anthony Davises of the world, you are fighting the Joel Embiids. You're fighting to be second at best. Because right now, nobody can go see Jokic. No. Because that man is the best center in the league. And I don't care what no one said. I said this last year when it was unpopular. He a top 5 player in the league.
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean, that's not a wild take by any means, I don't think.
It's not wild now. Back when I said it, oh, man, it was controversial. Oh, it was controversial. It was
so, Jay, I know you're our resident stat head here, brother. I did some digging for you, all right?
Oh.
Last 5 games with Jokic. This past game, as we know, with the Lakers, 34, 14, and 21. Absolutely phenomenal. Against Philly, right? Or excuse me, against Phoenix in the prior 4 games.
That means the same thing.
32, 12, and 10, 29, 12, and 13, 53, 11, and 4, and then 30, 17, and also 17. 4 of his last 5 games have been triple doubles, and the one game he didn't, he scored over 50. And you're telling me that this is not the MVP this year?
I will be fair.
We saw that.
Logan, I will be fair. I just gotta say one thing.
Go ahead.
I will be fair here. I'm just using this argument to prove why he's the best big man in the league.
Okay, go ahead.
I will be fair, and I'm not gonna use this to boast his MVP case. Because remember, years prior, we've had the same argument, and we always said it's a regular season award.
Right.
So just for consistency's sake, before people say, "Oh, we caught this piece of shit slipping," that didn't catch me slipping this time. But Jokic is still my MVP.
No, I mean, Jay. Me and Jay did so many shows leading up to the awards. We were both on that train. I think everyone was. Chris, Frankie, and whoever else we had on, maybe Rob Scott. we all thought it was going to be Jokic. I mean, we all said Embiid had a good season. There's no doubting that. He looked, obviously he looked great. But we felt that Jokic was the more dominant player. And now we're especially in the playoffs. I know, like you just said, Pride, it's a regular season MVP. But when you look at the postseason alone, forget the regular season, we can see who the more dominant player is right now. And between him and Embiid, and it's head and shoulders above.
Yeah.
So here's my thing, and I'll ask the guys both the same. Really, I'm just going to address it to both of you. Pride, you can go first. Logan, you can wrap this up, and then we'll kind of talk a little more, and then we'll get into the what we think about tonight's matchup. But Michael Malone was asked about Joker, what it was like to be around him, and his one word was sublime. And I got to admit, it is sublime to be around this man, like literally sublime. And here's the thing. I'm not gonna say that, we talk superstars, which I still think we use that word kind of loosely, but Giannis, Embiid, okay, they're superstars. I'm not gonna take that away from them. But when I look at a guy like Joker, the well-roundedness, all that he can do, and then we talk about, well, where do they fit among, the all-time greats? I'm not gonna say that, a lot of people will say Giannis, but I'm telling you right now, out of those three guys I just mentioned, I would only put Joker in the conversation of, in a question even of where would he fit. I'm not going to even pose a question for Embiid. I'm not going to pose a question for Giannis because I still think they haven't done enough, in my opinion. But when I look at Joker, what he's done, I mean, the guy's averaging triple-doubles in the regular season. He's averaging triple-doubles in the playoffs. I mean, there's just no stopping him and what he can do. And that's the kind of guy that I would, put into a question of where would he fit in the all-time greats. I'm not putting Giannis those guys in that question. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but the only one that I would ever put in that type of question, and I'm not talking Bron because Bron's in there. Obviously. I'm just talking between those three guys, those three specifics. Well, he's the only one I would put in that kind of question. What do y'all think?
And Jay, I'm just going to say we're going to the comment that Sander put up there. We're going to leave that for a separate topic. I feel. Because we'd go a whole about the Joker is the best big man since Shaq. That is a scolding hot take. And like I think we need to dive into that a little more on a different show.
I mean, is that really that much of a hot take though? I mean, like at its face value, it kind of sounds like it. But when you actually take a second to look into it, it's like, let's be honest, what other big men really are dominating since Shaq? Dominating the way Jokic has. No, I mean, maybe Chris Bosh before he went to Toronto, but even Chris Bosh wasn't doing this. No, I'm sorry, before he went to Miami. But even Chris Bosh was doing this. I mean, maybe Dirk, maybe Tim Duncan. But notice again, we're saying dominance, and we're saying maybe against other all-time greats. So it's like, at its face value, I get what you're saying about it being a hot take. But I feel like it's one of those things that, like, when you say it and then you kind of have a conversation with yourself about the other names that, like, think about it. Who is more dominating, Tim Duncan or Jokic? I think that's a legitimate argument. Pick whoever you want, but I think it's a legitimate argument. I don't think in terms of dominance, you can't really say which one was more dominant than the other. Like, there's no clear-cut answer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and also Sander comes back with it says you can even make the argument that he has the potential to go down as more dominant than Shaq was. I mean, he very well does, I think.
I think so, yeah. In terms of, like, dominating the game, I'm pretty sure what he means is not, like, the sheer dominance, but just, like, how he, like the game, like, when Shaq was in there, my man was just putting his nuts on your face, and there was nothing you could do about it.
I think we could say Shaq was the most powerful player.
He was just I'll be honest with you. I think in, like, 3 to 4 years, we're going to change that. Where we used to call Shaq dominant, I think we're going to switch it to, but we're going to have to say powerful. Because what Jokic is doing, it's dominating.
And he's doing things that, and you mentioned Brad, you mentioned Duncan, you mentioned Dirk, you mentioned Bosh. Those guys were primarily, for the most part, maybe except for Bosh, those guys were power forwards. Jokic is the center.
Yes, that is true. That is true.
Well, and the thing about it is, I think when we look at Shaq, and I don't want to go too far because I think this is another topic because we can literally spend all day with this. But I do want to say this: one of the big things I think when I think about Shaq is, and I like the word powerful versus dominant, because they did the hack of Shaq because he was so damn strong, they couldn't keep him away from the rim, straight up. But when we look at the word dominant, I think of dominant. Dominance means I'm a 5-tool guy. I got all the attributes, which I could dominate you from the paint, the rim, whatever. And the thing about it is, once Shaq got older and his strength started to kind of decline, and that's when he started going between the different teams before he finally, went out the league. When you look at a guy like, Joker, even if his dominance in the paint was to dwindle a little bit, he still has an outside shot. There's so many other facets of his game that he can still keep going and be effective. Whereas, once Shaq's strength, left him, what I mean? That's just kind of where I see Shaq.
Yeah, and I'll leave it on this, Jay, and then we can move on. Fred, if you have any final comments, you're more than welcome to. But the thing, too, that I think sets Jokic apart from pretty much all the other centers, I'm sure there's a couple, but is his passing ability. He is just on a whole different plane when it comes to how he's able to distribute the ball in terms of big men. You know what I mean? In terms of people who played the center position, he is just absolutely phenomenal. And like I said, we'll see how his career continues. So far, it's been off to a great start. We'll see how much it can keep going. But yeah, man, like I said, we're gonna have to definitely bring that topic up for another day.
And we will. We'll dive more into that. And I'm definitely gonna have Pride on there because I definitely think he's got a lot to add to that side of life. But real quick, let's talk about tonight's game. Last night's game was basically a tale of two halves. Denver came out 30, and I think they went up by. Was it 37-25, 35-29? So they dominated both the two quarters, took the lead into the half. But then, once they came at a halftime, then the Lakers kind of woke up and they took the third and fourth quarters. And again they got by I think it was 6 points. Denver wound up go ahead and taking the win. But I think Darvin Ham made some really good adjustments as we saw at halftime. I think LeBron and them are going to make their adjustments coming game 2. Rob Scott made a really good Facebook post saying y'all should be scared because I think this game 2, the Lakers kind of know what they need to do now. Darvin Ham certainly figured it out in the second half. Mike Malone, I'm sure, will do his adjustments to counteract as well. And I would hope Mike Malone would do that. But how do you guys see tonight going, and who do you have favored? This is, again, in game 2 in Denver. Pride, why don't you lead that one off, brother?
I agree with everything you're saying. I do think the Lakers do come back because, like you said, the first half, in my opinion, how it kind of the vibe I got, the Lakers didn't care about winning or losing the first half. And yeah, I hope so. I hope so. As long as Boston wins, I don't care how we do it. We could cheat. That's it. We're what's the ref that gambled? Let's bring him back.
Not
Tom Donaghy or Donaghy.
Yeah, Tim Donaghy, I think.
Let's bring him back. Let's bring him back, my guy. Let's bring him back.
He's still bring him back for a series.
Yeah, let's bring him back for a series or two. You know what I mean?
But I said he's done his time in the pen. He's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's over. Let's all be forgiving. But I do think that the Lakers came out game 1, and they didn't care whether they won or lost. I think their mentality was, can we make sure Anthony Davis can hang with Jokic? That's what, because this has been one of the biggest issues for the Lakers this postseason, Anthony Davis. Now, granted, my man literally pulled a Paul Pierce against the Memphis Grizzlies. My man got stretchered out. What are we doing, my boy? Right? But my thing is Anthony Davis going to want to go and get it? If y'all notice, a lot of the times when Anthony Davis gets it going, it's because he makes like of his first 5 shots, he'll make 3, and he starts feeling good. The problem with Anthony Davis, if he goes 1 for 5, all of a sudden Anthony Davis looks. This going to sound crazy to some people, but Anthony Davis is just like Joel Embiid. If he can't get it going early, he mentally checks out, and it's almost as if his thing is, oh, I ain't got it. All right, Bron, good luck. Like, you know how when superstars don't have it going and they want to rely on their teammates? Anthony Davis is kind of like that, but takes it overboard. He goes, right. All right, I'm done. I don't want to play no more. I'm a mess with you. I can't do it in real life. Let me go home and play 2K. That's the vibe he's doing. And I think game 1, they came out and were like, yo, AD, we need to make sure you can hang. Because the only way the Lakers will have a chance is if AD can hang in terms of points with Jokic. If he can do that, then we got something going on if you're the Lakers. Now, like you said, the first half, Lakers were getting cooked. They made the adjustments, Darvin Ham and the play, everyone, they made beautiful adjustments offensively and defensively to get back in it. I think heading into this game, I think those adjustments are going to be crucial. And the reason why I genuinely believe it'll be crucial is I think Mike Malone is going to go, we had him. We'll be okay. We'll be fine. And I think he's going to try to do a lot of, in the first half, you're going to see more Jokic-centric, but you're going to see Jokic passing more. Like, he's going to be like, I don't want to say passive, but he's going to be looking to distribute and let everyone else get going. If I'm the Lakers, I love that. I love it because I want the ball out of Jokic's hands. I would listen. It's a tough pick, but I'd rather live with Jamal Murray than Jokic. Yeah, because I have a better chance of stopping Murray than Jokic. I think with the adjustments, I do believe.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? I think the Lakers will win. Again, it's gonna be rough. So you know what I mean? It ain't gonna be no walk in the park. It's gonna be brutal. But I do think the Lakers win I'll say by 4.
Interesting. Again, based on last night, 6-point win, I can see that, honestly, truthfully. Logan, what's your impression for tonight's game, Lakers and Denver?
Yeah, I mean, probably did a great job summing it up, but I mean, game one, the Lakers looked like a completely different team in the second half. They looked a lot more locked in. They looked a lot more prepped. And I think that's going to continue over into game two. Game one, like I said, it's not the end of the world if you lose it. Like Brett said, that's more kind of a feeler game to see just how you're going to game plan for the remainder of the series. I do think the Lakers need to win tonight, though, since, like you said, they are in Denver. And like I said, Sanders said, for Denver to have a historical game and only lose by 6, that should be enough for the Lakers to hang their hat on. And I mean, he got a good point. I mean, it looked like the Nuggets were just going to blow them out at some points, but they fought back to their credit and just came up a little bit too short. Maybe if there's a couple more minutes left in the game, it could have been a different story. But like I said, Lakers fell short game one. I think they'll take it in game two. Like I said, it really just depends on how Davis plays tonight. If he's going to be on, if he's going to be that superstar that we've seen throughout the playoffs, or if he's going to have an off night and he's going to have to rely on, LeBron, D'Angelo Russell, and the rest of the guys on that team to really step up for him, which we've seen at times they can, but sometimes, you really can't rely on those guys night in and night out like you should be able to, a la like an Anthony Davis or even a LeBron James. And I'm putting Davis above James because LeBron's 38 or whatever. Come on, Davis is in his prime. He's younger and he's been the more dominant player this postseason, I think. So you got to put it on his shoulders right now. But I do think that the Lakers take this game. Give me the Lakers. Give me the Lakers by 10. We'll go by 10. A little bit more.
Woo! A little bit more. Okay. Yeah, I do believe. I think to close out. I think for the Lakers to do tonight, I think they need to go that match zone on Joker with having Rui out there when Joker's outside the paint on him, and then having Davis when Joker's more closer to the paint. So I think they did that match zone like they did in the second half on him. Then I think they definitely have a really good shot at taking Denver. I'm more leaning towards where Pride's at. I think between 4 and 6 points. I think the Lakers take it between 4 and 6 point lead. We'll find out. We're about to get that game here in a little bit. On to Pride's team, the Heat versus the Celtics. The other night, the Heat did get you guys 123-116. Miami is now up, obviously 1-0 with game 2 on Friday. And it was interesting, Pride. The Celtics came out pretty good on the Heat. You guys took them in the first 2 quarters pretty nicely, 30-28, 36-29. You guys did well. But in that third quarter, I don't know what Spoelstra said, but I did say this, and I told him on the morning show that I felt like, and this is no shot on Mazzulla, I just did because this is his first year, and, he became the interim coach last year, first full year. I felt like Spoelstra has so much more experience on him, and I felt that's where Miami, and I'm not to take it from what Jimmy Butler's doing, but I think Spoelstra really got them in that second half lined up and ready to go. And it clearly showed because when that third quarter came, they got punched square in the mouth at 46-25. But to the C's credit, they did bounce back and they tried to get back into it. It just wasn't enough at 25-20 in the fourth. ultimately the Heat taking the win. Butler did well at 35 points. Brown did, Bam did well at 20. I thought Bam was pretty much, in my mind, the one that needed to show the most, and he did. He did that. He got 8 rebounds and 5 assists. And then you had Vincent Strus at 15. But I like how and I said that earlier. I said that if the Miami Heat really want a shot at taking it to the C's, that bench has to come out and consistently perform. And Lowry and Martin did that, getting 15 apiece off the bench. But I'll tell you, man, this game was tough, man. Both teams shot above 50%. Either if you want to look at anything differently, Miami got 12 steals to Boston 6. But I'll tell you this: Boston kicked the ever living dog poo out of him in the paint for the tune of 62-40.
And also, Jay, let's not forget Jimmy Buckets had 6 of those 12 steals.
Yes, he did, and that's why we said Jimmy is the absolute motor and the facilitator, everything in between for that team. But again, Pride, man, hey, it was a hell of a game, man. Your bench did well too. Brogdon, White, combined gave you 30 off the bench, and we know damn good and well that Tatum and Brown can go off for 60 between the two of them, and they didn't do it, but they can. And and by no means, I honestly think that the C's are going to be okay. They're going to make the adjustments, and I do expect to see again. Man, it's like the Celtics had the gas in that first half, but then they let up off the gas in that second half. Pride, I'm telling you, if they had just had a better third quarter, we're not talking the Heat winning that game. But what is your thought process, not only on that game, but what you expect to see on Friday?
When I told you guys my word of the day yesterday was timeout, I was not kidding. Swear to God. I said timeout so much, Siri literally had started doing like a timer. Swear to God. Like, I was so triggered because I'm like, in that third quarter, the problem was I would see Joe Mazzulla look and he goes, I want to call a timeout. When Miami was on that run, he's like, should I call this timeout? Should I call it? You know what? I'm gonna let my guys dig out of it. And then there's another bucket. He's waiting for one of us to hit a bucket. He's waiting. He goes, okay, that's another miss. All right, I should call this timeout. You know what? Let me give him another chance. Joe Mazzulla, I get what he was trying to do. He was trying to be like, look, you guys, he's done this all year. You guys need to be able to dig yourselves out of the hole. I understand that to an extent. Can I curse?
Nah.
No? Okay.
Keep it clean.
I just wanted to ask. Mofo, you the head coach.
There we go.
Why are you waiting to be like, hey, Marcus Smart, can you please hit a shot? Like, people want to talk about Jason Tatum being inconsistent. Like, Joe Mazzulla he's the most inconsistent coach I've ever seen because he'll have the biggest cojones you'll ever see in your life. And he'll looks like he's about to fight Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown at the same time. He'll pick his pants up, say, what up? And Marcus Smart will tell him to chill. And he goes, yo, Smart, you want the smoke too? What up? And then the next day, all right, guys, are we ready? You guys ready to play? And it's like, I need that Joe Mazzulla. I need Game 7 Philly Mazzulla. When we're up, and I remember we were up. Jason Tatum, he had a wide open 3, and he had passed it up to because he wanted to get Jaylen Brown going. And Jaylen Brown ripped the 3. He ripped it, people. He made it. And then Philly called the timeout. Mazzulla went up to Jason Tatum and would tore his butt a whole new one. That's the Mazzulla I want. That's the one we need. I can't have you waiting too long, letting Miami go on. Because if you notice, there were only a couple stretches where Miami really kind of did their thing. For the most part, we were able to keep up. It was just the one of the third quarter, the most pivotal one, that Mazzulla was like, I'm going to rock with you guys. And I get that as a coach, having that type of confidence. That being said, you also need to be the guy to put his foot down. You can't sit here and let them do that. And then you're watching Miami get more and more buckets. And it's to the point where, like, bro, I'm screaming from my house, timeout. Okay? Timeout. I started screaming timeout so much that my kids went to the corner. That's how much I'm screaming timeout. Wait for this man to do something. And that's really what it is. That this being his first year, I think that's what it is. Granted, he did coach in the G League. I do think it's different, and I know for a fact it's different in the pros, but the playoffs is different from the regular season too. You can get away with this in the regular season.
Yep.
Because there's 3,277 games. I don't know who got the longer season, basketball or baseball, right? But it's you have more games where you can kind of play around with this stuff. In a 7-game series, you can't really do that. And like I said, I get it, him trying to be that guy, but to Sanders' point, there is a learning curve when it comes to it. And a part of being a head coach is knowing when to go to your guys and say, we need to get it together. He can do it. My problem is sometimes he waits until we're at the edge of the cliff and Gallinari retore his ACL before this man wants to go, all right, let's gather around the campfire and sing our campfire song. And it's like, fam, summer's over. We're in the fall. School started. We're talking about we're in summer camp, bro.
Right. Let me say this. Here's my issue. I remember a famous line in The Replacements by Coach Jimmy McGinty as he was talking to Shane Falco. Winners always want the ball. Kobe Bryant always took the shot. LeBron James always took the shot. MJ definitely took the shot. Why in God's green earth is Jason Tatum not taking a shot, period, in the fourth quarter?
I understand.
Hold on. Let me say. Nobody's going to question Jason Tatum's talent. Nobody's going to question Jason Tatum's talent.
Yes.
I just question his championship leader, Mamba, whatever you want to call it.
Well, I don't
the guy
mentality. But here's the thing.
You know what I'm saying?
Have everybody have Mamba mentality. That was a nice trademark thing for Kobe. That's fine.
It was a nice trademark, but you know what I'm saying. The winners want the ball.
But we hold on, time out. We can't necessarily do that with Jason Tatum. When you saw him demanding the ball, we're up double digits against Philly. My man demanded the ball because he won 51. And he ripping it. We've seen him do this. So we've seen him go for the ball. My issue with Jason Tatum, I understand the logic behind him not getting a shot to an extent. Because they wanted to get Jaylen Brown involved. They wanted to get everyone else involved. And to an extent, I sort of get that. Because obviously, we're deep. Let's be honest here. Our bench would be a respectable starting 5 in the league. So to an extent, I sort of kind of get that. But if I'm Jason Tatum, there needs to be a thing where he does the same thing as Mazzulla, where he waits to the last possible second and then he explodes. My thing with it's not that Jason Tatum is scared.
Let me get Logan's perspective on this. Hold on a second. Now Logan,
what's up?
You know, and again, well, I understand what Pride is saying. You know, I do, but everybody that's ever had a successful run at trophies, all the greats, like you know, I swear I can't tell you how many times on Facebook I've seen the hierarchy of players, right? Jordan's at the top, Bron and Kobe the second tier, and then it just works its way down. In my opinion, Jason Tatum can never get into that career, and I know probably might disagree with me on this, but I just feel like he can never get into that tier unless he demands the ball in his hand, just like Kobe took possession. Hell, even Jimmy Butler gave you 20 seconds. Jimmy wanted the ball, and they gave it to Jimmy.
Before Logan gets in here, can I ask just one question real quick? Because I do get what you're saying. Are you saying that Jason Tatum has to take he's got to take the last shot every single time, like to the point where, like, if you look at MJ's user percentage and it's real high? Are you saying that he needs to do that, or are you saying, look, you don't have to have the highest users percentage in the fourth quarter, just do it in a 3-minute stretch where you take over? Like, are you just looking for a small stretch, or the entire fourth quarter is what I'm asking?
It doesn't have to be the entire fourth, but like I said, if you know you're down, I know for a fact the Celtics got within reaching distance in that fourth. Like they were there. Yeah. If Jason Tatum is still not touching the ball, if that's anybody, if that's MJ, if that's anybody, they're taking that ball. Bron's definitely taking that ball. Kobe's taking that ball. The great ones always take that ball and they put it in their hands. They just do. So, but I get what you're saying. It doesn't have to be the whole. But again, if you're that elite guy, you're touching that damn ball in the fourth quarter. I promise you, you're touching it.
Right. Okay. And I think I'm going to comment here with this one, Jay. I think Sander brings up a great point. He said I think the key word here is consistency. That's what we need from Tatum. And Pride, you can agree. We've seen games in these playoffs where he can explode, like we said, for over 50. And some days he has a little bit of an off shooting night and doesn't put up nearly enough points that he maybe should for his team. And like you said, in game one, didn't go well for them. Like Jay mentioned, probably need to shoot. Should he have shot the ball a little more in the fourth quarter? Yes. I mean, I think we can all agree on that. But the thing too, Jay, is the greats like you mentioned there. If they had a rough night, what did they do? They came back the next day and they put it on them. Mm-hmm. And we've seen Tatum do that. We've seen him have rough games, but then come back the next night or the night after even, and then have a phenomenal performance. So we'll see what he can do in game two because, I mean, I think that Boston needs to get this game two here. Miami, they were doing everything. And he, also, Sander brought up a good point. I think it was him. Said that Butler had 3 of his 6 steals were in that fourth quarter. Where they just kind of, took it away from the Celtics.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe 3 of them came. Well, I don't know if Jimmy Butler was the one who ripped them, but I know 3 of the turnovers we had in the fourth quarter was Jason Tatum.
Right. And then Sanders said, says Tatum going for 40-plus game 2 for his FanDuel lineup. So 40-plus, that's the magic number. Oh, man, that's a tough one. I'll go 35. I don't know about 40. 40, oh man, 40
but that's the thing. Like, every time we have this conversation about Jason Tatum, he comes out and has a night.
And that's the thing too, Pride. Also, with
Jimmy
Butler, we do the same thing. We kind of underestimate these guys. We say, we sure we can get there, and then he does, and maybe even more.
About 40, I don't know, maybe
40.
I'll be honest. I think game 2, I don't think it's Jason Tatum. I think I've been waiting for Jaylen Brown to have a 40-point bomb. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I've been waiting, especially after Jason Tatum got 50. I think we got a 40 bomb from Jaylen Brown coming up.
That's the thing. So Tatum is shooting above 50%. Brown's shooting right at 50%. But again, I feel like you made a good point. If Tatum comes out, his shot's not falling, something just ain't going right, whatever. If he does it in different ways, right, via assists, rebounds, facilitating, whatever the case may be, okay, I get that.
That's fine.
But his shot's doing fine. He's shooting the ball good. Keep going. Shit, don't stop.
Sander has a grudge against Caleb Martin. He said, "It was off the court. I hate that man."
I know why. It's for me anyway. This is just my problem with Caleb Martin and why I'm not really his biggest fan. Like, he's an older Duncan Robinson, where how Duncan Robinson is a shooter, right?
Of course, yes.
And that's all Caleb Martin brings to the table. But when he shoots, he's not even that great of a shooter. He's a solid shooter,
but he's not great.
Right. And then the problem too is defensively, I give Duncan Robinson this credit. The man at least now tries defensively. He's like, you know what? That was always been my problem, but you know what? I'm trying.
He's putting
Caleb Martin is like
he's just chilling.
Yo, he's just like, oh, you beat me? Yo, Bam, where you at? Every single time. Oh, I got beat? He's like, whatever. It's like he wants, and another thing is he tries to act like he's got hands, right? Like, oh yeah, I can steal. And he reminds me a lot of Trayvon Diggs, where it's like the gambling. He would over
pays off or it doesn't.
And then he would stop and then be like, all right, cool, I got someone to help me out. And then when he looks back, there's no one there, and he's got his hands up where's my help?
And Sander said he overshoots on defense.
Yeah, when he tries to get his steals, it's,
right. He's over aggressive,
way too much. And the thing is who told you you got handles like that? Who told you you were a swiper? Like, who told you?
So, let me wrap this up. We do gotta get a little bit of NHL. But Pride, let me get who did you have tonight? You have the obviously I know you got the Celtics on Friday. You're not gonna say Heat.
Yeah, I think we bounce back.
Yeah, right. I agree, and that's why I do believe that Tatum will bounce. I think Tatum's gonna say, "Give me the damn ball." So yeah, I'm gonna go Celtics game 2 as well with Pride. And I think they even it up. Are you with that as well, Logan?
Yep. All
right.
Celtics get this one.
Oh, what a ton of, and then we all went Lakers tonight. So that's kind of where you see us in game 1.
Evened up. That's what we got.
All right, man. Let's get a little NHL real quick, and then we'll do a couple of closing breaking news stuff. NHL, man. Carolina, Logan, tonight is your night, brother. Your Carolina is going up against the Panthers. And I'm going to tell you, these are X-Division rivals. Bobrovsky versus Anderson. Aho versus, and I can't even say that guy's name, but I'll give you the first 3 letters of it. V-E-R Hegacy or some shit like that. I can't say that.
Yeah.
And then I will tell you, man. Florida Bobrovsky's got 24 wins. The Anderson's 21. But for those reasons, and especially what Florida has done in these playoffs and the way in which they've done it, especially with Maple Leafs and the Bruins. I hate to go against you, brother, man, but I think Florida takes game 1.
That's fine. Like I said, game 1. Obviously, we talked about this on Tuesday a little bit more in depth. But I got Carolina, baby. Come on, I'm not going against my team. Game 1 coming out hot, so I got them game 1. I think, like you said, goaltending is going to be the big matchup for pretty much the whole series. Is who's going to be the better goalie, and we'll see how it goes. Game 1, man.
Pride, do you follow hockey, Pride? I don't know if you're into hockey or not. Okay, I just want to make sure because I don't know if we've ever really
want to get you on here and be like,
I wasn't 100%.
They can really skate quick, like.
Hey, no, Pride. I didn't really talk hockey with you. So okay, and again, this is me and Logan's first inaugural season in hockey.
We're still learning. We're not we're pros.
Pride, bear with us on the lack of comments that we have because we're still learning the game. I just learned I am so green, Pride. I am so green. I just learned what icing was the other night. So live and let live. But Pride, how do you see Florida, Carolina, man, tonight?
I will say this. I think Logan brings up a good point. I think it's going to be very interesting to see the battle of the goalies. Something to keep in mind, and Logan, I think you know this. Sergei Bobrovsky. I think that's how you say it.
Probably.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to fact check me. Let me know. He did not play like the first 3 games of the playoffs. He didn't play. Like I think people tend to forget this. Like Alex. I think you say Lion, but it looks like Leon. Lyon. He was.
I think that's close. I think it's Lion. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. He was the goalie. I don't know if y'all remember. Cool. There was kind of a thing where they tried to make it seem like Alex was injured, but the man was just straight doo doo. I think I'm allowed to say that word. No, not had a rough. My man was cheeks. My man was boo boo in the butt. I think I'm allowed to say that.
In the butts.
PG-13 here.
Yes. So, but I agree with Logan. I think it was going to be the Panthers. I think it's going to be real close. I'll go 3-2 Panthers respectfully.
Okay.
Game 1. I do think it's going to be close.
Okay.
I really think. I think we're going to see Bobrovsky kind of a little nervous in the beginning, mostly because I do think there's going to be a lot of shots on him early on. I think they're going to try to blitz him, so to speak. So I think in the beginning he'll kind of be a little nervous, but I feel like he's had enough games to just be able to shake it off, breathe, relax, and understands that his team is going to be there for him. So I got a 3-2 Panthers.
All right.
All right. Hey, the next thing I want to kind of talk about just for a second is this Dallas versus Vegas. That game will be on Friday, 8:30 on ESPN. This is me versus Tony Gonzalez as well. And I got to be honest with you, Logan, man, Ottinger is just stupid good as a goalie, man. I mean, I'm so impressed with this guy. 37 wins and then, of course, the goalie for Vegas is Quick. And he's not bad, but I think Dallas has it. if there's one edge that we have, it's definitely our goalie is better than theirs. The question is I just wonder if Dallas can actually break what's been working for them. And what I mean by that is first game out against the Wild in the first series, we lost in double overtime. And then we came to win the second game, and then of course it went back and forth. And then when we played the Kraken, we lost game 1 in overtime. And then we kind of went back and forth, and then of course we ultimately won it. I hope that we can break that and actually take game 1, especially in Vegas, and break that cycle. That again, the guy Hintz, this 19-year-old rookie out of nowhere, got a goal last night, one of the big goals last night versus the other night versus the Kraken to seal that victory. But then Pavelski, I think he got like 8 goals in a series on the Kraken. So Marchment, I mean those Suter, I mean those guys are really Robinson. I mean those guys. The problem with Dallas is Logan and Pride is they don't get as many shots on goal as everybody else does. But the shots on goal they do get are quality shots on goal. And the only thing that kind of worries me is can Ottinger, because Vegas, they'll put a lot of shots on goal. Can Ottinger continue to be the elite goalie that he's been and block those shots? Pride, you first, and Logan, you wrap it up.
Which kind of goes to your point about Ottinger. Like against the Kraken, they of the 23 shots they took, he stopped 22. If he can continue this, and again, this is a Vegas team that, in terms, I believe they played 3 times against each other this year. Vegas struggled against Dallas. They struggled. Like, I don't know what it was, but they just kind of had this thing where I don't want to say this to be mean, but the Knights are a mid-team, right? Ooh. They're around like the percentile. I'm talking offensively. If you look at their offensive game, they really are a mid-tier team. They don't outshoot their opponents. They don't really outscore them like that. It's just for the Golden Knights, it really comes down to the defense. They're a defensive anchored team.
Right.
They want to play physical with you, and they rely on their goalie to win low-scoring games. That's kind of been their motto. And if you look over at Dallas, Jay, to your point, yes, they don't shoot the puck. They don't shoot it a lot, but they shoot it well because they're not just hawking stuff out for no reason. Especially when it comes to the power play, Dallas waits for the power play, and when they get the power play, that's when they're aggressive because now.
Absolutely.
And you know what I mean? Just a quick segue into that. That's the thing too. Power play goals on the year. Dallas 64, Vegas only 42.
Yes.
That's over 2
And the funny thing about it is Tony Gonzalez, who's on the late night show. He's a Vegas guy, and that's what he said. He was worried that Vegas wasn't going to have enough power plays to compete with Dallas, and that's where I'm hoping we can. That's where I hope that we can get the advantage.
And Jay, that's where you're supposed to take advantage of teams, and that's what y'all been doing.
And that's the thing. Like on power plays, you guys switch. Like if you look at a lot of other teams. Damien, we already talked about it. We're down bad right now, brother. But I'm chilling. We're vibing. It was game 1. Joe Mazzulla, call him freaking timeout, brother. But I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. But I will say with Dallas, like they play a very slow, methodical game until the power play. They're one of the, in my opinion, I think they're the only team really in the NHL who can have success flipping the switch like that because they really play slow and methodical. And as soon as the power play comes out, all of a sudden, they're running like they're 23, 24-year-old. Yeah, just going and going.
It's almost like you're going for a jog, and then when you get that straightaway, you start sprinting. And that's what they're going
for. So again, I think the Knights are going to try to play a defensive game, which is kind of really, again, that's really the only thing.
I think that's their way to get this win. If they got to play tough defense.
Right. So the problem is, though, the Knights go what is it? Brossois? Is that how you say it? I think it's Brossois.
Your guess is as good as mine, brother.
You're asking Europeans to pronounce Europeans' last names, and we can't even do it.
But Brossois,
what was that you said? Mansoir and
Brossois. But his goalkeeping has been inconsistent these playoffs.
That's true.
So it's not like we're not really looking at a guy who's kind of it's weird. In terms of goalkeeping, the Knights in Dallas, they're literally polar opposites. Like, even though Bro Swat is looked at as a very good goalkeeper, he's been looking very shaky and inconsistent. While Ottinger has been looking, he's been looking phenomenal, and he's been looking elite. So you now look at a struggling goalkeeper heading up against a very smart and tactical team in Dallas, with their keeper feeling like hot doo-doo. Or not, I don't mean like he's bad, but he's hot stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this is a very, very dangerous situation for Vegas. And I think, I'll be honest, if they really want to beat Dallas, I think they're gonna have to go away from their defensive identity.
They gotta be more aggressive.
I think they're gonna have to be extremely aggressive. I don't think the Golden Knights will be able to beat the Stars by not outshooting them. Dallas is far too efficient for that. And the Golden Knights, they're going to have to do something drastic if they're going to win this, because as it currently looks, I don't think they have a legitimate chance at all.
And that's what Sanders said. He said, he meant Mark Stone, with the Golden Knights. He needs 1 to 2 goals to help them win.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, like I said, he's been great. Like I said, 12 goals in the playoffs so far, right behind Jack Eichel, 14. So, like I said, just get those two guys to step up, and Vegas can make it a series. But, Jay, you're going to like this one. Give me the Stars in this one. I'm going to go 4-2.
Are you in agreement there, Pride? You think? I mean, not so much with the score, but you think Dallas takes game 1?
Yeah, I'll go 5-2.
Oh, okay. Extra goal.
Yeah.
All right. One more, Jay. What we got?
Hey, let's talk this kid real quick, man. You know what? I said this, Pride. I don't. And again, this is probably going to be. This is probably where I think I think a lot of us will probably get disagree, but I'm gonna say I'm starting to feel like, and I think even Saban is feeling it, where he's kind of saying, look, to the boosters, hey guys, we really got to get into this NIL deal. Just because I'm Nick Saban isn't going to keep Alabama where Alabama once was before the NIL. I think the NIL, again, like we've all seen, has kind of really killed some of the mystique of going to Bama, to where now they're going to other schools and doing their thing, and I think Saban knows that. Let me ask you this: the one thing that has not changed right now, and I don't know, Kirby Smart is just the new Nick Saban or what, but I think he has that magic formula to get these guys to come there. They got the number 1 QB prospect. Now I want to reiterate that he's a prospect. And Raiola, son of the Dominic Raiola, the offensive lineman. He committed to Georgia. He's 6'3", 220. As you can see, I mean, he has a pretty good frame on him. He threw for 32 touchdowns and 5 picks his sophomore year. 22 touchdowns and 5 picks his sophomore year. And he did originally committed to Ohio State in 2022, but in December he decommitted and then went on to commit with Georgia. My thing is, guys, man, if Georgia keeps wrapping up these high-level recruits, can anybody stop them? But again, let me simplify the question, I guess. Pride. Dominic Raiola, man, what do you think is going to become of this kid? Is he going to be the real deal?
Dylan,
yeah.
Is it Dylan? I thought it was Dom. I'm not Dylan. I'm
the dad.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm getting. There's too many D's in this family. I tell you.
Pause.
Logan, yes, we had our moment. Let's go.
Like we never skipped the beat, Pride.
Honestly, bro. But
my bad. Dylan Raiola, Pride. What's your impression? Number 1 of Dylan, and then number 2. What do you think about this Georgia squad, man? They got 2 titles under Kirby Smart. Is this the beginning of the new dynasty?
If this kid is just half of what people have been telling me, man, imagine you go from an elite quarterback from Stetton, put a ring on it, Bennett, to Dylan Ricola. What a time to be alive, brother. What a time to be alive. I need this kid when he says his NIL deal, he's gonna be sponsored by Ricola. And the guy that's what I want from this kid. Is he going to miss some of the season though? Because from what I understand, he won't be on the campus until next year.
Right. He's going into his senior year. So
yeah. So like,
So it's still a little bit before we get to see him.
Yeah, so we'll see. I'm very curious to see what this kid really does bring. Because like I said, people have been drooling over this kid. They've been drooling over him. Supposedly, this kid is supposed to be more electrifying than Baker Mayfield, more electrifying than Johnny Manziel, back when Johnny was good.
Right.
Good, right?
Back in his college days.
Right. Like, supposedly this kid is that level of excitement and electricity. Supposedly he's got a god of a cannon front arm. His accuracy matches the power, so he can hit you with some pinpoint stuff. He's mobile, can run out of pocket. From what I'm understanding, this kid is just destroying everybody. Can he transition that to the collegiate level? We will see. But like I said, if he's just a fraction of what now Georgia's selling to me, but everyone else was selling to me about this kid, Georgia is looking to be the new Bama until Nick Saban goes, all right, let's get the NIL.
Let's get it back on here.
Once that happens and Nick Saban is still there, I think then they'll get more recruits. But for now, if I'm Georgia, I keep striking with an iron's hot. I keep on going because right now Georgia's becoming the bigger attraction.
Yep.
Because of not only the championships, the recent dominance they had, but also the NIL. With all of those,
according to Raiola, I think one of the things that made him decommit from Ohio and actually wind up committing down with Georgia was he liked the culture that Kirby Smart has instilled there, and he likes the standard that Kirby Smart has instilled. So,
listen, this kid so far is great at PR because this is another C word. Checks.
Oh yeah,
that's what make this kid go over there, bro. Go over there, I guarantee this checks is getting bigger, brother. I'm telling you.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? And here's the deal. What's interesting to me is, Logan, I'm going to pose this question to you too as well. So Raiola, like you said, he won't be available to US or to Georgia until 24. Texas actually will, and Oklahoma as well, will be in the SEC in 2024. Archie Manning, because I'm pretty sure Ewers is going to get to start this season while they're still in the Big 12. But I'm pretty damn sure that Archie Manning will get to start in 24 when they merge into the SEC. Could these two guys go at it? Because I know, I think it was Sander that was talking about the Manning kid will be better than him. And so could we see these two guys go at it?
We'll see. I mean, that could be a really real possibility there, Jay. But I think people forget that, like I said, this is obviously the number one prospect. But Georgia's already still got a pretty talented quarterback room right now.
Yes.
I mean, they got some dogs with Carson Beck, who's more than likely going to be the starter for this upcoming season. Who in limited time he's looked good, and then you got other guys who, got some high potential. Brock Vandegrift, Gunnar Stockton, both those guys are freshmen as well. So it's going to be a crowded room. So just because he's number one commit doesn't mean he might not get that number one spot. And I mean, we've seen that time and time again with throughout a lot the history of college football. But I think it would be a great marketing to have Arch Manning and this guy Dylan Raiola go at it. And to go off what Price said, this dude's got an absolute cannon for an arm. He can throw it with the best of them. He brought up his stats. He's thrown for 3,000 yards, and his sophomore year, junior year took it back a little bit. Didn't throw nearly. He threw for about 1,000 yards less. But still, Jay, he does it at a high clip. Around 64% is his completion percentage, what you like to see in high school. Hopefully, he can keep that up in college here in the next couple of years. And yeah, man, like I said, Georgia just keeps on getting these high-ranked guys, and I don't think he's going to stop, man. As long as Kirby Smart's there, I think they're going to keep getting these guys. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Logan, I know it's 8:00, and this is usually about when you need to head off so you can get ready for work the next day. Just be advised, I will send you something in Messenger off topic later on about my availability and what it's going to look like. As you know, I'm moving. Yeah. So I'm just going to shoot, but I'll shoot you a Facebook message on that. But I know you got to take off, but I'll shoot you a Facebook message on that tonight.
Sounds good, man. Pride, happy to talk to you again, man. We got to get you back on more often. Jay, finish out strong, and I will talk to you soon. Guys, have a good night.
All right, be good, brother.
See you.
Pride.
What's up?
Can we talk? Adam Silver's react. Hey, can we talk Adam? I know, man. This is. See, now that Logan's gone, this is unscripted.
Now we can talk about the good stuff. Now we me talk about the stuff for really here.
You got to give it somewhat PG. But let me ask you this. Adam Silver is shocked at John Morant in his new video. Like he shouldn't have been shocked the first 3 other occasions that involved Ja. Now he is finally shocked. It took 4 altercations for Adam Silver to get shocked. Really? This is what we're doing?
Well, I'll be honest here. Whether or not he was shocked, I don't know. I will say this.
No. That was what he said. He quote unquote said he.
No. I know. Trust me. I watched it. By the way, shout out to Adam Silver. Usually, I'm used to the commissioner when you ask them the hard questions, they panic and don't want to say anything. Shout out to Adam Silver. Sat down and was like, "Give me the smoke." So he looked at Malik Andrews. He was like, "Bleep, give me the smoke. I want it all. Talk to me about what you want to talk about." Oh, we're here for the draft. Victor wanna bango? Nah, give me that John Morant news. I'm a slice it up. What up? So shout out to Adam Silver for that. But I think he was more. I do think he was shocked, and I think the reason why was because if you're the commissioner and you have a conversation with a player about that, and he's telling you I messed up and all that stuff, right? Then he goes and does it again. It's different. Like, I really wasn't shocked, but I didn't have a conversation with John Morant. You feel me? I was taken aback, but he did not. He didn't look at me and tell me I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna make better decisions. He ain't do that. He ain't do that to me. So I think that's why I think Adam Silver was more shocked than anything, because he's like, bro, we had a conversation. And what's really wild is after they lose against the Lakers, John Morant comes out and he basically doubles down and goes, "Yeah, look, I've been making mad self-improvement in my life, changing the people I hang around with, etc., etc." And then here we are. And I just want to clarify something real quick, because people are basically they're upset. Like, there's a photo, I think you guys have seen it, of Chris Kaman holding his guns out. I think the difference for me on why we're looking at John Morant differently, put context in it. John Morant flashed a piece at a teenage kid because he lost a pickup game. People are just making it seem like he's listening to NBA YoungBoy with a gun. Like, first of all, that's dumb. Let's just get that. That's dumb, right? Because the way he's holding it, it goes off. You clap yourself on IG. Now you're looking like a boo-boo the fool, right? But,
absolutely.
But for me, the main issue is what people are like not wanting to talk about. On a pickup game, he flashed it on a kid. Now, John Morant is claiming self-defense. Unless that kid is charging at you with a weapon, I don't know how you can say that's self-defense.
And that's my thing. Yeah, exactly. Unless he has a gun, what are you doing?
Right. But that's just me, though. That's just me, right? Like, some people are saying, John Morant's a kid. And my thing is, he's not a kid. He's a grown man. Like, he knows right from wrong. And my concern really with him is it almost seems like he's doing this stuff because he's got some friends egging him on.
He is Clarence from the suburbs trying to go down to 8 Mile.
Like, and here's my thing. It's okay not to be that guy. That's fine. It's okay not to be that guy. You shouldn't have to be that guy. You got a whole kid that depends on you, bro. Oh, yeah. Like, that's the point that baffles my head. You got a kid that depends on you. You're making these decisions. Like right there. He's a grown man with a daughter, smarten the F. Like, you need to smarten up because here's my concern. I agree. Here's my concern. Eventually, he's gonna run into somebody that's gonna press him and be like, "Yo, Jai, you really think you about it?" He gonna be with his boys. All of a sudden, it's an awkward conversation. Jai's gonna be like, "I ain't really about it, but I can't back down now because I'm with my boys." Next thing you know, it's a whole shootout. Now forget your career, forget the league, forget all that. You're going to be fighting for your life, whether you got shot and you're in the hospital or you got in a shootout, you killed somebody, and now you're going to court. And now your future is that. Like, did we not, like actions have consequences? I understand it's kind of different, but go look at Henry Ruggs.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, don't even get me started on the whole in Henry Ruggs thing because I'm I'm still extremely heated that you can put your car into an SUV, watch a woman burn. Now, Pride, I don't know. I'm pretty sure this is happening. I remember one time as a kid, I had a cigarette put out on me by accident. It wasn't their fault. It was by accident. But I remember how bad a cigarette burn hurt. Can you imagine the intensity of being in a burning flame?
And my thing, the reason why I brought up the whole Henry Ruggs situation is this.
But anyway, that's a whole another day.
Right, but this is why I bring up the Henry Ruggs situation. If Henry Ruggs had better people surrounding him,
right,
he doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. And John Morant is heading down a dangerous path where, for some unknown reason, if his boys tell him to do something, he wants to, okay, do it. My problem isn't really just the gun. My problem and my issue comes deeper than that. Because you had a conversation. You flashed a piece at a kid because for whatever reason, you flashed a piece at him. Okay? And now you're playing around with the gun. And now the league is like, bro, we just had this conversation. He goes, my bad. He leaves. He gets suspended for 8 games. Comes back. Tells me everything I want to hear. I learned, etc., etc. Does the same thing again. At some point, you need to understand as an athlete, let's be real, you now have this persona. Now, look, however you feel about guns, that's not the point. The point is there is a difference with posing with a gun and looking like girl go on social media, flashing a gun like you're trying to act like you're a thug.
Oh,
and it could be very well be the same gun that you flashed a kid with because you lost a pickup game.
Number one, hold on. Number one, it most likely is the same damn gun.
It's a legitimate.
Hold on. I gotta. Hey, Gonzo came in and plays a Logan. Gonzo, man, better late than never, man. How are you doing this evening? And what's up?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? No, just from what Pride was talking when you mentioned the Chris Cannon thing. One difference with that was he was in his home, and he's not waving it around. He's kind of having respect for his weapon.
That's another thing, because a lot of people bring that up and go, he didn't get suspended. Well, to my knowledge, now if I'm wrong, somebody please let me know. If I'm wrong, let me know. I don't remember him.
Oh, we're getting it. Arroyo, we're going to get into suspension here in just a second. I'm going to let Pride wrap at this point, and then we're going to talk the suspension here in a second.
I just wanted to say, I don't remember Chris Cape. Now, if I'm wrong, someone fact check me, because if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And if there was something that he had done before, bring that up, and then we have a different conversation. I don't remember Chris Kaman having that AR flashing at a guy, and then the same one bragging about. I don't remember that. If I'm wrong, someone fact check me. I don't remember that. But go ahead, Jay.
You know, Gonzo, let me ask you this, man. You know, I've often thought and I've often said that, you know, the parent that has the most influence in your life usually is a same-sex parent, you know, sons to dads, you know, daughters to moms, things like that. Then, of course, obviously, if you're a single parent, well, then, you know, you just go with what you have. But when you're, you know, when Ja has his dad, and his dad clearly can't even control himself to the point where he's getting altercations while his son is at work on the job site. That's what the court is. That's Ja Morant's job site. His dad is out there acting a fool and making a spectacle of himself. Now, if you can see that in him, you got to imagine Ja grew up in that type of environment, and that's what Ja grew up around, was acting a fool and doing whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. Regardless of whether you come from the suburbs or if you come from, you know, a Section 8 environment, that doesn't really matter. What matters is how your parents brought you up and what they instilled in you. And clearly, Ja Morant's dad didn't instill bupkis in him. And I think that's a lot of the reason why Ja Morant is the way Ja Morant is acting, because his dad didn't give him the proper North Star in which to guide himself on.
But I don't think that, because we didn't hear anything about this from his high school level. It's not, because usually when something like this happens, they go deep. He's never done anything like this in his high school level. Never done anything in his collegiate level. Came in the league. He didn't do any of this until he got money. And what does money always bring in? Like bread brings in birds. That's common sense. You go put a piece of bread.
But we don't know 100% about it. It may not have been a gun. Chris, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
I said more money, more problems.
That's what I'm saying. So
and that is true. That's a good point. More money, more problems. But honestly, Pride, John Morant could have been doing other things, not necessarily with the gun growing up, but he could have been acting out in other ways that maybe wasn't necessarily criminal, but could have, at least he did. Can we at least agree that John Morant did not have a good foundation to operate from? To your point, Chris's point.
I'm not going to say that, Jay, because
my man grew up in the suburbs with his mom and dad.
Yeah.
Bubba, you can grow up in the suburbs, but your daddy still can't give you the proper ethics.
Jay, here's what I'm going to say. Here's why I'm not going to put it on his dad, because you can have two kids that grew up with the same exact parents, and they can come out.
Oh, I understand that too. I understand that.
The exact same way, and one guy could be getting in all kinds of trouble. The other kid could be a saint. So it's not always on the parents.
Right, so on that point, I'll meet you in the middle. Chris, I will meet you in the middle. Can we at least agree? That John Morant's dad didn't help the situation?
See, I can't say that because I ain't been around his dad.
Oh, Lord. Okay, well, never mind. I tried to meet you three different ways. Okay, never mind.
But here's the question though. Here's a legitimate question. How can we blame his pops? Because there's nothing about this high school wise. He was with his pops. Collegiate level, he was always kind of constant touch with his father. There was nothing like this in his collegiate level. He came in the league, he was with his pops. Like, it's almost as if he starts distancing himself from his father. That's when all of a sudden this stuff happens. I can't if he grew up like this and he was trying to do this stuff from years and years and years back, you got something. But if it almost seems like the more the father is around, the more on the straight and narrow this kid is, and it's almost like when he starts to start being on his own, that's when his decision making just isn't good enough. And you can listen. This is something, Jay. You have a child that's grown, so you know this. Gonzo, you know this too. You can only take your child as far as you can. There's a point when they now have to make their own decisions. Ja can't make his own decisions. That's all this is showing me right now. You know what I mean? Like I said,
I don't know. I here's the deal, and this is just me, and I don't want to be argumentative because I can honestly see your point. I really can. Your guys are making good points. I think the only sticking point for me, truly, the whole thing, is I feel like if his dad had never done the stuff that he did at the arena, I probably would be like, you know what? It is what it is. But when I see his dad acting a fool at the arena, and then I see John Morant acting a fool on social media and at his house, it's hard for me to get around that because he put it out there. And once it's out there, and it's hard for me for my brain to think otherwise. You know what I'm saying? But, hey, at the end of the day, my hope, and I'm going to leave it here. My hope, truthfully, I always want the best for people. I always want the best. And I hope that John Morant really does take the time, reflect on it, think about what he wants, think about where he wants his life and where he wants his daughter's life to go from this point forward. And I hope he makes the positive changes. And then let's get back to playing basketball and doing what we do. But let me ask you guys this. The last thing I want to talk about on this John Morant subject is the punishment phase. So, Pride, I'm going to get your idea of what you think. And then, Gonzo, I want your idea. And then in the comments, Sander, Damian, Billy, tell me what you guys think. What is the proper punishment? Or what do you think will be the punishment that Adam Silver will ultimately give down to Ja, bearing in mind that the Memphis Grizzlies have already suspended him from off-season activities? But where do we go from here? Where does Adam Silver go from here? Pride?
So first things first, if I'm the commissioner, I have a conversation with him. And I would have a conversation. I would tell him, bro, you're jeopardizing yourself. I do think double-digit games is warranted. I don't think going 40, 50 games I think that's excessive. Because I don't think that'll. I don't think that's enough. I think 10 to 12 games would be a start. And Damian is calling for him to be banned. I mean, listen, I will say this. He's made some stupid choices, and I don't think anyone's going to disagree with that. Banning him, yet allowing Ron Artest to keep playing after the Malice in the Palace, you're out of your mind. That's just one. That again, that is just one. That is just one. I'm not trying. There are other things. There have been players who've been accused of rape, and they allowed them to come back. There have been players who've been accused of murder. They allowed them to come back. So I'm not gonna say ban him. I do think it's a situation where 10 games, and in those 10 games, someone needs to have a conversation with him saying, look at your daughter, look at your girl, look at these checks. You about to lose all of this to impress a gangbanger who doesn't know your last name and it's on the back of your jersey. The same jersey you bought him for him to wear. And he still don't know your last name. He needs to get his loyalty right. Because he's trying to impress the wrong people. I think Sanders said it earlier. He's a reverse. Usually it's the guy from the hood that tries to dress up, be all flashy, and act like he made it. John Morant made it and is downgraded to try to act like he's from the hood when he's not. It's documented that this man is more of a clearance than a job. And I don't think that's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Why he thinks it is, I don't know. But I do think eventually there's going to have a come to Jesus moment. Whether or not he wants to follow it, it is what it is. But at some point, you're going to have to let him make his own decision. And eventually, if this goes left, he's going to look, why didn't nobody help me? And everyone's going to be looking at him outside of Grizzlies fans, because Grizzlies fans are saying free the kid and that he didn't do nothing wrong. But outside of Grizzlies fans, everyone's going to say, we done try to help you. We've done what we could. You don't want to do it. At some point, you're going to have to figure this out on your own.
I agree. Well, so how long do you think he should be? You said 10 games?
I would say 10 to 12. But during that time, he needs to, I don't know where you would go, whether it be counseling, a psychiatrist, a therapist. I don't know what Tremesius needs, right? But whatever Nigel needs, he needs to go get it. Because this man is closer and closer. He's getting closer and closer to end up ruining everything to impress some gangbangers. And good luck, bro. If that's the life you want to live, go on with it. Just understand. I tell the kids that I drive buses for all the time, you can do what you want. You can do whatever it is you want. But you need to have that same energy when it's time for the consequences. Don't look around like a boo-boo the fool talking about why you picking on me. I don't want to hear none of that. John, you know what you need to do, but you're an idiot. So we're gonna have the same conversation next year. And next year, and next year, and then we're gonna go, damn, John messed up for real this time. And it's gonna be too late.
A lot of truth in that. Gonzo, man, what do you think, man? Like, what's the appropriate punishment for Ja?
I would say he got what, eight games the first time.
Yep.
I would say at the most like 25. That's basically a quarter of the season. I think the worst thing that the NBA could do is suspend him for the whole season. I think if you suspend him for the whole season, that's basically, to me, almost a death sentence for the guy, because okay, let's suspend him for the whole season. I understand you got to punish him, but if you suspend him for the whole season, now he has all this free time, and now he's going to be doing what he's doing, but doing it more, because now he's not going to care because he's done lost everything. I think 25 games, and then like Pride was saying, some kind of counseling or other stuff that he has to complete within that time that he before he can come back to play. If he completes the counseling, if there's fines, whatever, all that stuff, if he gets that completed before the 25 games are up, he can come back after 25. But if he don't go through the counseling or whatever other stipulations you put in there, then make the suspension longer. But I would say maybe like a quarter of the season. I think if you start going too much, could have the opposite effect on him from him. Instead of trying to help him, it could make things worse.
I agree, unless they provide him or require him to see, a therapist and work through these issues. If he has a therapist that can keep him on track, I think that could necessarily not be the case. But let me say this. This is what I think. I've always said this, man. I'm 5'9". I'm a Caucasian, and I can't shoot a basketball to save my life. And if I just had a tenth of John Moran's talent, I would do everything I could to maximize the most of it. And the worst thing in this life is wasted talent. Wasted talent is absolutely the worst thing ever. To that effect, I believe in the 3-strike rule. 3 strikes, you're just out. But if Adam's going to let him stay in, okay. Let him stay in. But I do think if you're going to go the 8-game to 10-game route, that means nothing to John Moran. We've already seen that. They gave him the 8-man route, and it didn't do nothing. Matter of fact, he went out and got another gun and made more videos. So the 8-game didn't do shit. Pardon my French. I don't mean to curse. It didn't do anything for him. I think if you're going to give him 8 to 10 games, you need to have mandatory therapy in place, and he needs to have $1 million fine. If you're going to give 8 to 10, it needs to be $1 million fine. And the reason why is nobody ever takes anything seriously until you hit him in the wallet. You hit a man in the wallet, they start thinking otherwise. Now, again, this guy's got a lot of money, so $1 million may not even be enough.
He's already been hitting the wallet too, though.
And again, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Okay,
So what I would recommend, but again, that's option A. Option B, what I would recommend is that he needs to have counseling, because this kid needs to get his thought process back on what he needs to be worried about, which is his daughter, and providing a stable environment. Look, above all else, basketball be damned. He's got to provide a good example and a good, safe living environment for his daughter, right? When you have a daughter, your daughter or your child, that's your most important thing in life. Everything's about them, right? So more importantly, he needs to get his head right for her. And I would say my punishment, if I had to live out a punishment on a job, it would be a half a season, and it would be with mental counseling so that he can get his life back in order. So when he does come back to the league, he is ready to go 100% mentally and physically.
I want to say this. I don't think just suspending him would be a good idea. I think the suspension should be kind of, I don't want to say reward, but kind of, this is a 7-step process. These are things you need to do. This is what you need to do. Kind of give him like a way where, like, if it's 10 games, that's because he did all the 7 steps. If it's 25 games, it's because he was dragging his feet. If it's 50 games, it's on him. I feel like if you do something like that, maybe it would probably be different, because with a kid like Ja, you kind of got to look at it differently. I'm talking about, I don't know if y'all watch UFC. Well, Gonzo, you watch UFC. Remember when John Jones did stupidity number 37 and they made him go to elementary schools and talk about, hey, yo, don't be John Jones, but be John Jones. Like that. You might have to do that with Ja. You might have to do something like that with him where, like, you know what? Matter of fact, let's be unorthodox. Adam Silver hit me up. You can take credit for this. We're going to drop him. We're going to drop Ja in Chicago. We're going to drop him in O Block. Give him a week. Give him a week. And then when we go and pick him back up, his hair will be cut. He will have a tie that he tied himself. And he will be addressing us as sir. Watch.
You gotta go put him on Scared Straight.
What? Listen, like, look, you want to act like it? Yo, go be one. Go be a banger. Go ahead. Go be a banger. You gonna be a banger, all right. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Cause that's all you finna bring to the table, bro.
Speaking of punishments, let me move on to this next one real quick. Since we're talking about punishments and people getting in trouble, Becky Hammon. Becky Hammond is defending herself. She's defending the organization because she basically moved on from Derica Hamby, citing salary cap relief, positional needs, things of this nature. And Derica is saying, "Oh no. You are moving on because you said I'm pregnant, and that's a violation. You can't just trade me because I'm pregnant." That's what she's saying. The league has suspended Becky for 2 games, a 2025 first round pick, and they said it's due to violating the league and the team respect in the workplace policies. So my question is this: Pride. Becky clearly comes from the pop tree, clearly has success as a player, clearly has success as a WNBA first-time coach, and gets the title. Up for possibly interviews with Toronto Raptors, we know for sure. We're going to bring her in for interviews. Now she's looking at interviews for the NBA, building her resume. Now this happens. Number one, does it do anything to her resume? And number two, do you think do you think that she will eventually get the job in the NBA?
So will she eventually? Yeah. It's just a matter of time. Let her get her feet wet in the WNBA, and then obviously I do think she's gonna end up coming to the NBA. But this situation is weird. It's weird because if a woman is pregnant, and this is not a joke, this is real life. If a woman is pregnant, she's to be treated as if she tore her ACL. Meaning you can't trade her, you can't release her, she stays on your team. Now, I believe the CBA for the WNBA does have something where if your player gets hurt before they play, you can kind of negotiate with the league where they still have that spot, but the money that you pay them doesn't count against your salary cap. I believe. I could be wrong. But it's wild, bro. Like, Hamby says that when she was traded, she was, quote, bullied, manipulated, lied, and discriminated against because of her pregnancy. Basically, right. She's saying that she was traded solely because she was pregnant.
Pretty much.
Like, that's what she's saying. And this is a quote from Hamby. I was told that was a quote question mark, and that it was said that I would get pregnant again, and there was a level of concern of my commitment to the team. What that basically says, you are promiscuous, and we do not want to risk you getting knocked up again and getting paid.
Pretty much.
Which is weird. Now, to Becky Hammond's defense, she says that's never happened. She says since day one, she told me about her pregnancy, that I've handled her with care since day one. She's like, I never did anything. While she says all these accusations are false, she's saying, she was like, we never had one bad text. She's like, her email. She's like, I will email my players. All this stuff, which is weird because the league somehow had. I don't know who's lying, either Hammond or the league, because Becky Hammond said she never emailed her players, but then the league did an investigation and they went through emails. So I guess John Gruden's back at it again, but this is how Becky Hammond, in essence, explains the truth. She says trading Hamby to LA was basically going to give them create enough of a salary cap so that way they could add Candace Parker in free agency. That is kind of what she's saying. That's Becky Hammond's that's her explanation on why she was traded, or why she traded him. Whether or not that's true or not, I don't know.
Right.
I heard Candace Parker retired. So do with that information as you will. Maybe I'm tripping, but I could have sworn Candace Parker retired. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But it's a very, very weird situation. The Aces are doing the right thing. They're doubling down, and they're also doubling down with Becky Hammond, and they're supporting her. But it's a weird, weird situation. Supposedly, the league went through everything. Text messages, emails, interviews, all that stuff. And I don't know. I guess at this point, it's like, you know, it's kind of out there, like kind of, I don't want to say whatever happens type of situation, but it's weird, you know, because obviously the team, obviously they still got punished, but I don't know, man. Honestly, I don't think this does anything crazy because the Aces are still backing her up. So I think long term we're gonna end up forgetting about this in a couple years.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing about that, you know, is and what makes the WNBA a very unique league, Gonzo, I'll give you this question. It's a very unique league is you can't ask a woman not to have a family. It's not like the men's league where men, you know, they get their wives pregnant. It doesn't affect their career. They keep on rolling. When a woman gets pregnant, clearly it's going to affect their career. So, I mean, the only thing a woman can do, I guess, to help the team out is because look, a woman, if she wants to start a family, it's her right to start a family. It shouldn't hurt her career because she wants to start a family. Maybe, if anything, the team could say, yo, look, could you start trying to procreate after the last game of the season? And we'll try to get as much out of that as possible. Okay, maybe there's certain, you know, things you can kind of lend, you know, give a little leeway to. But you can't ask a woman not to start a family. And that's the very unique thing about, you know, a female league is this part of life. You can't ask them to wait 20 years or 15 years to finally start a family. It's just that's not conscionable. But Gonzo, what do you think, man? Do you think that Becky Hammond is at fault here, or do you think that she really traded Hamby for business purposes and not because she's pregnant? Now, mind you, there was an email chain supposedly out there that has all of this information in it. And we got to imagine that the NBA did investigate and did find evidence to support Hamby's claim. Otherwise, they wouldn't be suspending her and taking a pick away. But at the end of it, what is your thoughts on this, Gonzo?
I think the truth probably lies somewhere in the middle. I think what Becky's saying that she just traded her, that there might be some truth to that it wasn't because she was pregnant, but there had to be something for the league to take draft picks away from the team and to suspend her. They had to find something either in them. I was reading they done 30 interviews. They went through text messages, emails. So they had to find something. They're not just going to suspend her and especially take draft picks away from the team just to do it. You know what I mean? So I think it probably is somewhere in the middle. There's probably some truth to what both of them are saying. You know how it works. Usually there's three sides to a story. So, right. Yeah, I think there's a little bit, but I don't think it's going to affect Becky that much. I think I kind of agree with Pride here. You give this a few months down the road, people are going to forget about this, and it's going to be that big a deal. But I do think there had to have been something that she done wrong, or they wouldn't have suspended her for the 2 games, and or at least they wouldn't have took draft pick from the team.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. And it's going to be interesting to see, you know, in the next year or two, where this all leads and where it all goes from here in terms of Becky Hammond's career specifically. I do agree with Pride. I think she's too talented. I think coming out of the Popovich tree is amazing. We know what Pop brought to the league. And so you got to imagine at some point, I do think she will get a job in the NBA at some point. Real quick, I want to move into one last thing, or 2 last things real quick I want to talk about. I swear, Pride, I'm letting you know right now, and I'm going to make this declaration known public to the whole world. If the Houston Rockets, for 1 minute of 1 second of 1 hour of 1 day, even thinks about considering bringing James Harden's ass back, I'm going to convert. And I'm going to be a Celtics fan. And when somebody says, Jay, you're a bandwagon, I said, no. I made a conscious decision based on the formidable future of my team that I couldn't live with, went against my principles. So I went with my next best team, the Celtics, because they're a European-based team.
Come on over, Rover.
Saying, man, I go where the four-leaf clover lands me.
You better go ahead and start rooting for the Celtics because Houston's already considered it.
Nah, they didn't.
Hey. No, I hope not. Oh God, I hope not.
Honestly,
I hope not.
Here's why because I've heard about that. It's kind of weird, right? They say that James Harden is the reason why Philly fired Doc Rivers, but then he wants to leave. It's weird. It's like, figure it out. I will say this. I think if I'm Houston, would I consider it? Sure. I actually would, believe it or not. On the condition that you bring in 2 other people. Don't you look me in my face talking about coming back alone. Don't you feed me that pile of crop. Because if you feed me that pile of crop, you better return that pot. Because I ain't with it. Because you couldn't do that with Embiid. You left us for Brooklyn. How'd that turn out? You piece out, you know what? So, unless LeBron and Jason Tatum or what other young superstar, Luka Doncic, if you're bringing them, come on over. We'll roll out the red carpet one more time for you.
Yeah.
But if you come and buy yourself.
If he brings Luka, oh, hell yeah. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. But, like, and I don't think any of that's even possible. I don't think no shot should they honestly consider this. Chris is saying that they already considered it. Just for that, Houston should sign them to a supermax and deal with the consequences. Yeah, we got room for you, bro. Hop on over. If you listen,
I'm telling you because hey, look, man.
If you come to us before game 2, you can enjoy the festivities when we raise up the banner. You can enjoy it. If you hop on here before the finals, I'll leave a room. I got a spot open for you. But you got to be here before the finals.
Hey, you know what, though? I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to wait to see if he comes, then we'll talk. Because at the end of the day, I really don't – see, here's the deal. If I was to switch teams, I would not want to, quote, pull a Freddie Henderson where I leave a team and go to a finals team. Because to me, that just cheapens – that would cheapen my fandom.
But that's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying.
I know. But if I do it, it would be at the beginning of a season, and we're gonna ride the wave, baby. Because I want all the kudos of whatever it is I earned with that team. But God, I hope that doesn't. Gonzo Harden, do you think it's gonna happen? Oh my God, please say no. Please give me a ray of hope.
I don't think it's going to happen. To be honest with you, I was just messing with you a minute ago. I think Houston would be stupid to, unless, like Pride said, unless he's bringing a couple stars with him.
No, bro,
I think it'd be
stars,
smart.
bro. I'm talking superstars.
Yeah, superstars.
Yeah,
I do think it'd be smart for Houston to maybe get a veteran player, but I don't think you want to get a guy like James Harden. You want to get a veteran player that can still help you a little bit.
Right.
If you're going to get a veteran player to put with some of them young guys they have, but I don't see Houston being that stupid. But I mean, it is the NBA, so you never know. We've seen teams do stupider things, but I don't think it's going to happen.
And that's the thing. We got rid of Harden, quite honestly, because I think number one, Harden wanted to leave, but number two, was to get draft picks, start over from a young perspective, and grow the team with the right coach at the helm. And I think if you brought back a Harden at his age, that kind of defeats the purpose of the mission of what you're trying to do. So
he needs to come off the bench or something like that.
But John Wall didn't want to come off the bench. I mean, James Harden. When we got James Harden initially, he was on the bench, and then we brought him in and made him a star, or put him in a star role, and then he went from there. But we got him off the bench. I mean, if we brought him in, put it back on the bench. Oh, how crazy would that be? That's like returning back to your origin. Matter of fact, that's what we would call it, the season of the origin. Wow, what a time to be alive.
As long as he's cool with coming off the bench,
I don't think he would be. This is a guy. No, Pride. This is the guy that dated a Kardashian, and you want him to go back to the bench?
I'm just saying if he wants specifically to play with the Rockets, because let's be honest here, his rep around the league, it's finally taking a hit.
Yeah, it really is.
It took a while. It took a while, but now it's finally taking a hit where people are like, so you quit your way out of Houston to go to Brooklyn, to quit your way out of Brooklyn to go to Philly. You then got the Phillies head coach fired, and now you're on your way of quitting out of Philly. Now people are starting looking at him a little funny. I don't know, man. Look, respectfully, James, I don't know, bro. You're going to have to figure something out because, you know, you looking like a boo-boo the fool right now, bro. And I'm not trying to be rude when I say that, but.
No, that's okay. You can say it. Please say it because it's the damn truth. It's okay to say that.
Yeah, he's looking like a fool, not a good one either. Like, I don't know why he thinks.
Oh, you know why. You know what ruined James Harden? You don't know. Seriously, do you know what ruined James Harden? The Kardashian family. Seriously. I don't know what it is about the Kardashians, but they literally ruin every athlete that ever comes to them. Just ruin them.
Jason Tatum,
it's like the curse. It's like if you want your career to go down the toilet, but if you want your social game to take a massive bump, just go date a Kardashian. It's all good. Whatever.
Only Scooby Doo. You're not wrong, but Scooby Doo.
It's crazy. And again, I understand why a lot of people fall nemesis to the Kardashians because number one, they have money, but number two, those women are beautiful, and it's hard to resist the apple that Satan is offering you, and God is telling you, "I will give you the garden, just don't eat the apple." Well, James ate the apple and the tree.
You saw how big he was when he left Houston? No, he ain't more than that. Shoot.
Hey, he ate the apple and the damn tree. He ate the whole orchard, let me tell you.
Humpty Dumpty had a great fall indeed.
Oh,
Jesus.
Jeez, man. Oh, Kim. Was it Kim? Was it Kim the one that got him? Which one was he dating?
No, I think it was Chloe.
Chloe. Yes. He was dating Chloe. You're right. Which Chloe was Lamar Odom's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
What a time to be alive.
It is a time to be alive. Let me tell you. The last thing, and then we're going to get out of here. By the way, the Lakers have come up 6-4 right now, 9:37 left to go in the first. The last thing I want to talk about, and poor Frankie would probably be pissed off to talk about this certain individual, but Domingo Garmin is now been given a 10-day sentence. And I don't know if a lot of people are ready for this conversation. But the first time Scherzer was caught with just a little bit of rosin and some sweat and was given 10 days right off the rip. And then the umpire crew gives Herman on April 15th a warning and told to wash his hands when he had the same damn sticky substance on it. And they let him go out there and keep playing. And then catch him only a few days ago against Toronto with the same damn substance on his lens. And not only on his hand, the dude's such an idiot, he gets it on his uniform. What a time to be alive. So when he comes out in the fourth inning, all four umpires that were on the same officiating crew as April 15th tell him, let me see your hand. Oh, don't worry about the hand. We see your jersey. You're ejected. You're gone. You're outie. But why? My question is this. Why wasn't it he ejected on April 15th? Bride?
My legitimate thought, and I'm being so serious when I say this, I genuinely believe wholeheartedly that they actually had a brain fart. I think if you remember, if somebody fact check me, I think Scherzer got suspended first before they caught him with that. I think it was them overcompensating. They knew they messed up with Scherzer. And I think this is like, damage control, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because there's no other explanation. There's no other explanation. No shot. You look at the dude. You see he was cheating. Go. Do me a favor. Go. Go wipe your hand off. No shot. They said that. I refuse to believe it. And I gotta be careful because I'm a Red Sox fan. People are gonna think that I'm hating on the Yankees, which I kind of am, but that's not the point. The point is that for some reason, I like the rule of them checking. I like it. I'm with it. We need consistency. If you're gonna lay down a suspension on Max Scherzer, don't tell Domingo Germán to go wash his hands.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm with the rule. I like it. I'm okay with it. I just need consistency. Don't tell me that an elite ace pitcher gets suspended, but a average at best guy who struggles going 5 innings gets a slide.
Oh, it's a strong at best.
Like, I'm just saying, for the sake of consistency's sake, bro, we got to figure this out, bro.
Oh, I know. Guys, let me ask you this, and I'm going to build off of what Pride just said. It's like this. This is what I look at it, right? If you get caught speeding, and the cop says, "Damn, all right, look, I'm going on vacation tomorrow. I don't want to do this paperwork, so I'm going to give you a warning. We're going to give you a warning. It's going to be in this system that you got a warning, and if you get caught speeding within 6 months, you got to pay that ticket." Plus, it's going to get retroed back to the warning, and you're going to pay that ticket too. Why is Major League Baseball not adopting the rule of, okay, Herman, we gave you a warning. That was 10 games we gave you. You didn't have to do. You got caught this time. Why are you not getting 10 games for this one and then 10 games for April 15th to give you a total of 20 game suspension? Why is this not being applied?
I don't have a good reason for you, Jay, because it don't make no sense.
Exactly.
You come up with these rules, and you're going to check these players, and if they get caught, it's supposed to be an automatic 10-game suspension. You do it for one. You do it to one player, but the other player, they just go wash their hands, and we'll go back to playing. But then this time, you get the suspension. So I don't understand it. Well, I mean, if you look at when Scherzer happened to Scherzer, we were talking about how it's always the same umpire.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess at least this time it's a different umpire. It's not the same guy that done it with Scherzer, right?
Well, it was the same crew that got him the first time. I don't know if it was the same crew that got Scherzer.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's not the same crew that got Scherzer, right? Yeah. But remember with Scherzer, there had been 3 guys when it happened to Scherzer. There had been 3 guys ejected before that, but it had all been by that same umpire that got Scherzer.
It's the same guy. Yep.
And now this is a different one. But yeah, it don't make no sense. But it goes back, if you follow baseball, which I know you guys do. Look how many times they make rules and they follow them half the time. So
mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not real surprising.
It's like the strike zone. Every umpire has a different version of the strike zone.
Mm-hmm.
What time to be alive? Probably. Let me ask you this though, honestly, because this is the way I think baseball could have rectified their blunder. I think if they gave him 10, I think it would have been more appropriate if he would have got 20 games to make up for the warning that he was given the first go around that we all know about. He should have gotten 20, in my opinion, to rectify why he wasn't given it the first time. Would you agree with that or disagree with that?
On paper, I would agree with that. But then again, you're opening up Pandora's box because then, so let's say, for example, a guy, he does, okay, so let's say a guy goes out, he hits like 4 batters in a row, MLB deems it suspicious, they give him a warning, right?
Right.
Then the next time he goes out, he hits 2 guys, it's by accident. Everyone knows it's by accident, but because of what he did last time, you now got to double up on the suspensions.
Oh, that's a good point.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I do. I understand it. I understand it.
You're kind of opening up this Pandora's box situation. Me personally, they should suspend him the first time, period. But I do get what you're saying in terms of if we can suspend him, like, retroactively suspend it, have it serve it now. But I just think that's a dangerous precedent you want to set. Because if you start doing that, now if a guy hits, let's say a guy goes through the MLB domestic violence thing, right? Let's say goes through that, beats it, goes, and then the next year's in the same situation, and then fails that time, and they found him guilty. Does that mean that what happened last year now has to be factored in? And now he's got.
But let me pose this though, because I hear what you're saying. But let me pose this though. Had they not already kind of done that? Because when they didn't catch it the first time, when Major League Baseball, and even now, Major League Baseball has not really come out and addressed the fact that he was given a warning on the first go around. So would that, because he was given that warning and then caught on the second go around, if you're Max Scherzer, why is he not? I was really surprised that he's not making a stink out of it and saying, Major League Baseball, wait, you gave Germán a warning, but yet you suspend me? I'm really surprised that we haven't seen a bigger thing of this from the Scherzer camp or Scherzer's agent.
I'm with you there. I'll be honest with you. I'm with you there. I am very shocked that Max Scherzer hasn't come out and been like, yo, hold on. Like, what's going on here? I'm very surprised that he hasn't said anything. That being said, there's really nothing they could really do legitimately to make up for the fact that they didn't suspend Domingo Germán the first time. There's nothing you can really do. Because the thing is, if you suspend him now it's going to be a situation where, they checked him, they didn't do it. Does that mean he was innocent? And now if he's innocent, does that mean you can ban guys who just get checked now? You see what I'm saying? Like, because he didn't get suspended that first time, you now have to, when it comes to suspending him the second time, you got to forget that first time. You almost have to call him innocent because nothing was done. You almost have to. And that's what I was going to ask.
I'm glad you said it, because that was going to be my other question for you is, so basically the first time that he was given the warning is, where do we go from here with that? Is the best thing, is the only thing that really, is it just to wash it under the rug like it never happened and just basically reset to this time and go forward and hope it never happens again? Is that really I'm asking you, is that the best play to go forward from here?
Maybe I'm wrong, Chris. If you got a different way of looking at it, you let me know. But I'll be honest, I genuinely believe that's the best play they could really do. Because if they do anything else, it's going to be more backfire in their face. So, Chris, if I'm wrong, you let me know. But I almost think the first time, you got to let that slide. Even if you don't call him innocent, you just got to let that slide and worry about this time because you can't retroactively suspend him.
I get Gonzo. I know Pride has asked you if you agree. Do you agree with what he's saying?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with what Pride's saying, because if you do something now, it just makes baseball look even dumber.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know what I mean? If you try to go back and then, because I was surprised that Scherzer didn't try to appeal his suspension to begin with.
Yeah, I'm really surprised too, and I'm really surprised that again. I'm stunned. I'm really shocked.
Well, bro, I don't know if someone wants to fact check me. I don't think that's appealable. I think if you get suspended because of foreign substance, I don't think that's appealable. I don't know if you guys want to fact check me on that, but I don't think it's.
I'm not 100% sure on that either. I'll have to look it up
because I thought he would have appealed, but I don't think that's appealable. I think that's one of the.
Hey, but you know what? Pride. But even if it's not appealable, if I'm Scherzer, I'm looking at my agent. I'm like, yo, bro, listen. You get a certain percentage of my money that goes to you specifically to take care of me. Oh boy, over there done got a free pass. I didn't get a free pass. What are you doing for me? Why are you not talking to him? Why are you not making it? Look, you need to get your ass in motion. I'm just saying. I'm gonna make a stink out of it.
Oh no, don't get it twisted. You also got to remember something too. Like, I think what he's probably thinking is, what's the point of making a stink right now? Because no one's really gonna listen.
Well, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Unless, and I think what I mean by making a stink, let me be more specific. I'm talking lawsuit.
See,
I'm talking taking MLB to court, saying, "Listen, there is an unjust precedent based on, and if he wants to play discrimination, I don't care."
I don't know.
But the problem with that, Jay, if you start,
You know what I'm saying?
You start suing Major League Baseball, then that's going to be hard. Then he's just making stuff harder on himself if when he tries to go get another contract or move to another team. Because
and I don't know, man. Look, if Max Scherzer is available, you don't think people are going to offer to bring him in based on his ability?
It's a fraternity there. If you're suing the league, teams are going to be cautious about bringing you in.
It's to Chris,
and that's a good point. Okay, I'll give you that. That's a good point.
I mean, think about it. To Chris's point, if you're suing the league on a technicality, you're suing the owners on a technicality. So that is true. And on top of that, too, if I'm Max Scherzer, respectfully, do I really want to get into a lawsuit over 10 games?
Yeah, no, and I get that too. I think for me, I think for me, it wasn't really about the money, like getting like money from them. It was just like an acknowledgement. What makes me mad, I think what makes me mad, and I don't know how he feels about it, is just the fact that Major League Baseball hasn't come out and actually addressed the situation. Like, it's okay. It's like, hey, listen, guys, we messed up. We didn't hold him accountable the first go around. We're holding him accountable the second go around. Max, I apologize to you for, because you got it the first. He got the warning. It's just the acknowledgement of baseball, acknowledging that they were fallible on this and then moving on from it. And I think if they did that, I could probably move on from it too. It's just the fact that they don't even acknowledge it to that level. That's what bothers me a little bit.
And here's my rebuttal to that. It's Rob Manfred.
And that's true. It is Rob Manfred.
Like that,
I still want to know.
Guy that called the trophy a piece of metal.
Like what?
Oh Lord!
Fucking, yeah. He's.
Listen, I can't wait till we get a new commish. Can we just get a new commish? I'm ready for a new commish. But until then, we're gonna get to these final thoughts, and we're gonna go watch this Lakers-Denver's game right now. I'll just give you a quick update. 4:07 left to play. 21-20, close-knit game. LA on top. Pride, final thoughts, brother.
You already know what time it is, man. The Lakers have their hands full. And on the Lakers, there's the most unselfish man in basketball. Somehow leads the league all time in the most selfish stat. One, LeBron. James. Celtics are going to bounce back. We'll be fine. All that being said, the NFL, weird times over there.
Yeah.
Chris, I am not as excited as I was for this Dustin Poirier-Justin Gaethje fight. And I think I hate myself. I really do, because I looked at the card. That card is stacked. But
yeah, the card's stacked.
The main event for the BMF title, vacant. I've never in my life, I've hated Dana White a lot. Like him giving Kobe Covington 3 title shots when the man's washed. Him thinking the CM Punk thing would work. The slander he did on Ken Shamrock. The whole John Jones is never fighting again brings him back. I've hated this man when Ronda Rousey came back and he focused on her and ignored the GOAT, that is Amanda Nunes. I've never in my life been... I hate Dana White right now. I'll love him again tomorrow.
So you probably like the fact that he putting Sean O'Malley against Aljamain Sterling, don't you?
I hate it with a passion. First of all, Aljamain Sterling...
O'Malley's getting his ass whooped.
But I don't know, because it's Aljamain Sterling and my man, he lost to Henry Cejudo.
He did lose that fight. I agree.
He lost that fight, and it's like you lost to a dude who is retired.
You know what the worst thing
you had
is?
every
he lost
bit.
that fight. I thought he lost the fight, and I think that's the best I've seen Aljamain Sterling look. That's honestly the part to me that baffles me. This is the best I've ever seen Aljamain Sterling, and it took a split decision win from a ref who two freaking judges that was smoking before the fight to bail this man out.
And now, I don't know what's going to be worse. The fact that at bantamweight, it's going to be either Aljamain Sterling or Sean O'Malley, or the fact that Jamal Hill is the light heavyweight champion. Like, the UFC, we're going downhill, bro. Bring back Pride. Bring back the Yakuza. I need to go back in time and see Rampage Jackson roided out fighting somebody. I don't care who.
Chuck Liddell.
Bro.
Gonzo, what's your final thoughts, brother?
Oh. Final thought.
I heard her loud and clear.
UFC is in a weird spot, but I'm ready for this weekend. Going to watch the Cincinnati Reds play the New York Yankees on Sunday. Be my first Reds game of the season, so ready to go check that out. And other than that, join us next Saturday. We're doing a live pro wrestling show. Gonna have 2 steel cage matches. One of them with a career on the line. Should be a great show next Saturday at 7:00. And other than that, please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to pull up something real quick just so I could ask Pride about it. Let me hold on. Just bear with me 1 second. Pride.
Bleep.
Hold on. Oh, hey, Pride, listen, man. You know, we're all right now in this, right? The wild card, because currently the Texas Rangers are still kicking my ass right now. I think we're like 2 games back behind the Rangers. For whatever reason, this team, they went and played Atlanta. They kicked the crap out of Atlanta. I think Atlanta did get 1 game on them. But we just are having a hard time gaining ground on them. So I'm really looking at right now at the wild card spot. And I will tell you, I need your help. We have got to get Toronto out. We've got to get Baltimore out so we can all move up into that. Pride, I think correct me if I'm wrong, I think you're 3rd in your division. Are you correct? Is that correct, or am I wrong on that?
I think we are right now, because I know everyone.
I think it's Tampa, Toronto, and I think it's Boston and New York.
We're in last now. We're in last. We're at half.
Well, I need to start winning games, and this is what I need from you, Pride. I need a commitment that you will beat the Angels, and that you will beat. I don't care if you beat Tampa, but I would like for you to beat Tampa. But specifically, I would like for you to beat the Yankees. But you have 2 series coming up, and I would like for you to beat the Angels. So the Angels and the Yankees, Pride, I need you to call Alex Cora. I need you to call all hands on deck. And I need you to handle this.
I would call Xander Bogaerts, but Judas has betrayed us.
Oh, no, Xander's gone.
Luckily, I still got Rafael Devers' number. Sometimes when I'm sad, I do, but I call Xander Bogaerts, but I don't talk. Hey, hello, and I just don't answer. I don't say nothing, bro.
Listen, I'm just telling you, if you can handle business with the Yankees and if you can handle business with the Angels, I would greatly appreciate it.
So we will handle our business with the Yankees because that's a rivalry game. I do not know about the Angels. I'm gonna have to make some calls.
Make some calls. I'm just saying, make some. Look, at the end of the day, it's going to help you in the wild card spot because right now, even if you're in last, you are still in contention for a wild card. So you are so still in all of this process. So let's just make some calls, shall we? All right, man. Listen, and also, by the way, I will need some flashcards on pretty much every UFC fighter from you, Pride, that's out there. Gonzo, team up with him to help me out. I do want to start getting more into UFC, but I don't know enough about it, so I am leaning on you 2 guys for help. Secondly, Pride, anytime I post a link in Unscripted, you don't got to ask. Just show the F up.
I just wanted to ask, just to be sure.
No, bro, you got to open it. You got to open invite. Hey, look, you're in the chat group for a reason. If I put a link there, it's for everybody. Anybody who wants to show up is more than welcome at all times. It's an open call at all times. Secondly, talk to Frankie, get his butt back in here. We got some issues to resolve. But lastly, and certainly not least, Lakers, Denver. Let's have some fun tonight. Make sure you please tune in to Unscripted Guys on Twitter, all one word, TikTok, and YouTube, Unscripted Sports, all one word. And certainly don't forget us on Facebook at Unscripted. Pride, the unicorn, I'm so glad you're back. I missed you. Gonzo, Much love. Tell your dad I'm coming for him on Friday. I'm going to be in his DMs like Mickey Delaney has been in my DMs. And Vegas, Dallas, go Stars. Y'all have a good night.